Electric Supply, Fun Factory, and DSE Hawai'i. Now it's time for a showdown in the Open Division between the Campbell Sabers and Farrington Governors. Broadcasting live from Skippa Diaz Stadium. Here's play-by-play announcers Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht.
Aloha and welcome to Kalihi. Here, another edition of Aloha Friday Night Lights coming at you. Beautiful night for football. Kyle Galdera joined by Paul Brecht. And Paul, as we get ready for this matchup between the Campbell Sabers and Farrington Governors, we're late in the regular season, but both of these teams still alive for the playoffs. And we're going to get to it throughout the broadcast. Our own Michael Esquero did a great job putting together almost a full page of scenarios. And that just goes to show you how competitive this Open Division has been this year.
Yeah, a lot of chances still available and open, all the way to a team in Farrington who has struggled thus far this year. And that's kind of the beauty of the season and beauty of the talent in the Open Division, is that they do allow you so many opportunities to get into the postseason still. But you have to get an actual win. You have to get on the board. And that's what the Govs are looking to do tonight. They don't want this to be their final game of the season. Now, a win doesn't necessarily guarantee them in, and that's also the case for Campbell, but we'll get into that as the night goes on. Excited to finally see some OIA Open competition against one another.
And starting off with Campbell, they're on paper the favorites tonight. I talked to Coach Darren Johnson. Actually, last Saturday, he was watching his nephew play Youth League, and I had a few minutes to chat with him, and he basically said in their loss against Mililani by a touchdown, they thought they should have won that game. A bunch of mistakes for both sides. Campbell thought they should have come out on top. And then last week they got, as he said, punched in the mouth by Kapolei, which has an awesome running attack that they couldn't quite go up against. So having that in mind, this is basically a must-win scenario for Campbell tonight. So, Paul, how important is it to refocus against a winless team like Farrington tonight?
Oh, it's so important. A massive opportunity for the Sabres as you enter on the road here before a game potentially against Kahuku to close out the regular season. And like you said, back-to-back matchups against some really good competition. They're going to have to come out and perform against a team who hasn't necessarily put it together thus far this season, but one that is not devoid of talent by any means necessary.
And you're alluding to Farrington, and let's talk about the Governors. 0-4 in league play. They've had one win this season. It was against the visiting team from California. And basically in their opening game in league play against Leilehua, they were shut out 10-0. That was probably their best chance this year for a win. And because they couldn't quite put it together then they played great teams like Kahuku, which put up 70-something points last week. And now the Governors really have to refocus because, like we said, Farrington's still mathematically alive for the playoffs, but they're going to have to get it done against a tough Campbell team.
They're going to have to get it done and then probably get some help on top of that. But nonetheless, you're trying to build a little bit for the future for the Govs. They've been starting a freshman at quarterback in Kenzo Kawai over the past couple of weeks against the number 1 and number 3 teams in the state. Hey, welcome to the varsity ranks, Mr. Freshman. But a little bit less today, though. Still a talented Campbell squad. Can you finally put together a couple of the good things that happen? Can the defense put together a quality performance? And can you give yourself just that, that long shot? And any shot is a good shot at the playoffs at this point.
And talking about the Governors and Leilehua in particular in the Open Division, we've talked about this all season long. Even in the D2 ranks, there's a couple of teams that probably should be in the D1 and a couple of teams in the D1 that should be in D2. And even for the Open and D1, you could argue that teams like YNI could bump up to the Open Division, and teams like Farrington and Leilehua could bounce down. And that's going to happen in the offseason. But I guess how tough is that for a team like Farrington with a bunch of talent? It's just that they're not quite at the Open Division level, so they're having a rough year on paper. But how do you get through that as a student athlete and as a coaching staff?
It can be really difficult, but honestly, you have the right people on board for Farrington. Mike Lafayette in his 3rd season leading the Govs, and he's brought in a pretty good unit of coaching staff minds and also just men in general to help lead these boys and make them into young men. And it can be frustrating when you're going through a not-so-successful season. There are still a lot of players, though, who will return again next year. You do look at that, and you hope to start to put together things for them. And then for the guys who are seniors, you want to make sure that you give them the best opportunity to close out their high school career one way or another. Put them in the best opportunity here and show them why they were always proud to be a Governor for their final season of football.
And looking at the Open Division landscape, talking about Mililani, they're still undefeated, so is Kahuku. Both of these teams are actually playing tonight, so we'll see what that result is. We'll keep you posted, and we appreciate you tuning in to us. I know you can probably get your eyeballs on that game somewhere else, but that doesn't matter. You can keep tuning us in, and even if you do want to watch it, just keep them on mute, and you can listen to our game while you watch Mililani versus Kahuku. How about that one?
I like the way you think, my friend.
And we're just a few minutes away from the coin toss and all the pregame festivities. Actually, the full color guard for Farrington on display tonight here at Skippa Diaz Stadium. And should be a fun night for football. Like we mentioned, the Governors at 0-4 in the Open, Campbell at 1-2. And something else to keep in mind, Campbell had that game against Kahuku postponed a few weeks ago because they lost power. And that's why Farrington is basically a game in pocket ahead of Campbell in the standings. So there's a bunch of scenarios that we'll also get into later in this game about if Campbell were to win and other people win and lose, do they even have to play that game next week? And you think about the toll that quote-unquote extra game could have financially on players' bodies and so on. So a lot of different factors, more so than just straight-up head-to-head records.
Yeah, certainly a few reasons why you might want to win tonight's game, more than just maybe clinching your spot, but yeah, making sure you're ready to go for the postseason, not putting extra miles on the tires, we'll call it, before going what is a very tough road in the Open Division.
We'll step away for the national anthem and Hawai'i Pono'i, and when we come back, we'll have kickoff. It's Campbell and Farrington here from Kalihi live. Aloha Friday Night Lights. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Fun Factory can't make paying bills fun, and they can't make feeling sick fun. But they can make your next party fun with 4 locations in Oahu. There's a Fun Factory near you. Visit funfactorygames.com to book today. Fun Factory, where the fun is made for you.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kule Agbayani, along with Paul Brecht and Michael Lescaro, weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com. You can even watch the show every Monday on our YouTube channel. Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
What are you doing out there?
Come on! I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Hawaii.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. It's a Week 6 showdown in the NFC as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Carolina Panthers. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Steve Berline, Bill Rosinski, and myself as Dak Prescott and the Cowboys look to make it back-to-back road wins. But Bryce Young and the Panthers are perfect at home and looking for a second straight win as well. Cowboys, Panthers. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
On Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
At Fun Factory, we can't make traffic jams fun, and we can't make waiting in line fun, but we can make this weekend fun with 4 locations on Oahu. There's a Fun Factory near you. Visit funfactorygames.com for more info. Fun Factory, where the fun is made for you.
OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to Farrington High School. Kyle Galdera here alongside Paul Brecht. Ku'ule Agbayani back in the studio off her marathon 4-hour, 59-minute engineering of the Seattle Mariners win over the Detroit Tigers in 15 innings. Thanks, Ku'ule, for hanging with us. And, of course, Michael Lascaro doing a great job getting some content for social media. And also, he put together a bunch of scenarios for what will happen tonight. So, Paul, let's take a look at that before we kick off tonight. Both teams getting ready for the coin toss. But let's start with what will likely happen. Like I've said, on paper, Campbell is the favorite, Farrington the rather large underdog. So let's say that Kahuku beats Mililani tonight. That game's going on right now. And Kapolei beats Leilehua. That would eliminate the Mules. And in the scenario I just said, Farrington would be eliminated too. Campbell would be slotted in as the 4 seed, Kahuku as the 1 seed. So basically, for Campbell, take care of business tonight, and you have a pretty smooth road ahead to the OIA playoffs.
Barring anything unforeseen happening, that's kind of the best way to describe everything going forward. You take care of business, and it's practically win and you're in with a couple of help or teams helping you out. And Kapolei has been world beaters so far this season, one of the top teams in not just the Open Division but the state in general. Kahuku, obviously the latest number 1 after St. Louis went down to Kamehameha. And I just... Farrington has an opportunity to make things very interesting, but Campbell has an opportunity to make things very calm if they want to.
And you mentioned that, Paul, that a Campbell win is not necessarily a lock tonight. And the only reason that would happen is if Leilehua pulls the upset against Kapolei tomorrow. And that would mean that the Mules finish the regular season at 2-3 because they beat Farrington to open the regular season right here about a month and a half ago. So in that scenario, it would mean that Kapolei and Campbell would be tied at 2-2, so that the game that was postponed because of the power outage between Campbell and Kahuku, which is now scheduled for next week, is actually matters a lot more because Campbell could potentially leapfrog Kapolei in the standings, or they could potentially lose to Kahuku and then set up a log jam at 2-3, which would require coin tosses, tiebreakers, all kind of other shenanigans that Campbell is hoping to avoid.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are hoping to avoid that scenario, but unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, something about high school football is you always have an opportunity. You always have a chance, and like we were getting at before, this Farrington team is not just looking to play spoiler, but also looking to keep their own season alive. Campbell, on the other hand, they know how big this game is, how much is riding on this competition, and how much they could give themselves an opportunity to even rest just a little bit before the postseason potentially, should they take care of business here on the road tonight.
And just kind of stepping back a bit and looking at the big picture as we get ready for Campbell Farrington, we're just about ready for the coin toss, and then we'll get you set for kickoff here at Farrington High School. But I think it's pretty clear, Paul, that Kahuku and Mililani have stood out as the top teams in the OIA Open, and St. Louis and Kamehameha Kapalama are the top 2 teams so far out of the ILH. So basically, that's your top 4, your final 4, even though that's not how states is going to shake out.
Right.
But just looking at, if you were to throw the best 4 out there, that's what you're going to get. And then we talked about how Kapolei and Campbell are kind of on the fringe of the OIA picture, but I would venture to say that a big win by Campbell here tonight could springboard them back into that conversation, because like we were talking about with Michael before the game, all Campbell needs to do is win tonight and win one more time, any time between now and the playoffs, the OIA playoffs, and they're in states. So the path for the OIA teams is a lot smoother than the path for the ILH team. So how big, again, is this game tonight for Campbell? We'll call it a get-right game for the Sabres.
Yeah, a massive opportunity for the Sabres. And also, you brought this up before, chatting with Coach Darren Johnson of Campbell, where they thought that they had a pretty good shot against Mililani. They felt that they let that game go. So if you're able to, I shouldn't say sneak into the playoffs, but secure your spot in the playoffs, what's to say that you don't really make a run at this thing as it is? And we've seen Kahuku, as great as they are, still are not the world beaters that we've seen in previous seasons, though they certainly have started to figure things out as the year has gone on. You know, Campbell has an opportunity to make things pretty chaotic themselves if the Open playoffs start, next week, and they have an opportunity to kind of make it that case for them once again if they just take care of business tonight.
Looking at the coin toss, Campbell has won the toss and elected to defer. So that means Farrington will receive the ball, and it looks like they're going to be receiving at the Mackay end of Skippa Diaz Stadium. So in just a few minutes, we'll have opening kickoff. But in the meantime, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. You're listening to OIA Football, presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Home of the Los Angeles Clippers, KGU AM K236CR is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on AM 760, 95.1 FM.
Kyle Galdera here alongside Paul Brecht at Farrington High School. Aloha Friday night lights just a few moments away as we're getting ready to kick off between Farrington and Campbell. Farrington coming into this one 1-7 overall, 0-4 in Open Division play. Campbell at 5-2 overall, 1-2 in Open Division play. But of course for Campbell, they've had a couple of tough losses, one against Mililani, one against Kapolei, so that record is skewed just a little bit with so many great teams in this Open Division.
Yeah, they start the year off 5-0, dominated Division I competition, and then, like you said, fallen off just a little bit over the past couple of weeks. One game they thought they should have had, and one that Coach Johnson described as kind of getting punched in the mouth, right? Where now an opportunity for them against Farrington, and a Farrington team that hasn't just struggled offensively, but especially on the defensive side of the ball. Can you get things clicking before the postseason? And conversely, if you're the Govs tonight, you're looking at this, you're receiving the opening kickoff. Can your offense start and set the tone early and maybe give your defense a little extra juice here on senior night?
So getting ready for opening kickoff, but we are delayed a bit by an equipment issue. Farrington has some towels that are too small. That was a point of emphasis from the National Federation of High Schools. We had a video we had to watch about that.
Small towels?
Small towels. I can get into that in just a bit, but we are up and away. The kickoff is going to Farrington, and it's going to be held by Alohi Hughes. He works his way from the right hash and is actually going to be tackled at the 10-yard line. Make it the 11. Great job on the coverage unit by Campbell as Hughes was trying to cut back to the middle, but he ran into the wall of white jerseys that Campbell's wearing tonight.
A beautiful open field tackle. Looked like it was Josiah Evans of Campbell who made the tackle there. And a great job by the coverage unit for the Sabres, as now Farrington, an offense struggling, as I was getting at before, averaging under 2 touchdowns per game so far this season. They start just outside their own 10-yard line to begin things.
Campbell wearing their white jerseys, white pants, black helmets, and black numerals tonight. Farrington in the home maroon jerseys, the big G. I like to call it the Packers G because I think it's basically the same logo that the Green Bay Packers have. And white numerals and white trim. And, of course, our favorite auntie's in front of us here at the press box. You'll hear her all night, trust me. no matter what the score is.
Here's a fun fact for you. I know you're a Green Bay Packers fan. You bring it up here. This is also the logo that my high school football team had while I was there, though things have changed a little bit since then. The Georgia G is what we always referred to it as.
So Farrington with its first offensive snap. It is going to be the freshman quarterback Kenzo Kawai handing off to Leilehua. And that run is going to go, we'll call it a gain of 1. Nice job there by the Campbell defense. We'll see if Farrington plays conservative tonight or tries to open it up on senior night.
Leilehua, the senior running back, and I tell you what, he is a bowling ball back there, standing at 5'11", 225. If he's got a head of steam, he's going to be able to pick up a few yards. It's going to be important for this Govs offensive line to get a little push in the run game, and they certainly have the ability to do so.
A counter draw taken up the middle by Leilehua, not much going there. And this opening drive for Farrington, powered by Dial Electric Supply, Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier. A couple of injuries, obviously late in the season, everybody's banged up, but Elijah Mendoza, one of the quarterbacks, he's usually the backup for Campbell. We were told he's in a walking boot tonight, so hopefully he can recover quickly for the playoff run of Campbell. But that sports injury report is brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii. After the short run, it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Govs. Opening drive heading from Makai to Mauka here at Skippa Diaz Stadium. And on 3rd and 5, it's going to be another run, so very conservative for the Govs so far tonight. Leilehua's 3rd run, he picks up 2 more, make it 3 more. 4th and 2 coming up.
Yeah, you said it. Some conservative play calling to begin things for the Govs, and they'll send the punting unit out onto the field. And as much as I would love for Farrington to try and go for it all on the first drive, you also do understand not trying to put the ball in the air so close to your own end zone. You have a freshman QB starting. You're hoping to get him in a good spot. And realistically, you had pretty good push, just not good enough push to move the chains on your first possession.
Princeton Samuelu doing the punting for Farrington. He's standing at his own 6-yard line. Snap is good. Kick is away. Not much wind tonight. Nice spiraling kick. It's going to bounce, and it'll be a favorable Campbell bounce as that ball will be downed at the 43 of the Govs. So great field position coming up for Campbell. We'll be right back. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
Campbell wasting no time as on their first offensive possession, Chase Yamashita catches the swing pass on the 1st and 5 from quarterback Brady Medeiros. Campbell already with their first down as they surge deeper into Farrington territory. They're now at the 34. And Campbell in the no-huddle offense, Paul, trying to get that tempo going early on.
That's something that can make defenses feel really, really uncomfortable. I like that call here on the road for the Sabres.
Medeiros passing again from the gun to the right side. Really nice move by the slot receiver who lowers his head. Bryson Sansano lowers his shoulder and plunges ahead for a few more yards. That'll be a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 coming up.
Sansano starred on this Sabres team last year as a sophomore, the group that made a run into the state tournament, obviously behind the left arm of Jaren Keave Songopolu-Tele, and this group still plenty of talent left over after.
Medeiros moving quickly again, using his receivers, and on this receiver spins out of trouble, and he plunges ahead toward the end zone. Is he in? The referee says, waiting for the signal, and we have a touchdown. A little bit of a delayed call there. The refs wanted to make sure they got it right, but a beautiful job there breaking tackles and getting in is Zane Paishon. He has now 7 TDs on the year after that pass, which he took from basically the flat all the way for a touchdown.
Paishon, the senior athlete, 6'3", 180, and using every bit of that frame, dropped the shoulder, ran through a couple of Farrington defenders, and into the end zone. First goes Campbell, now pending a PAT, a 7-0 lead, just about 4 minutes into the action.
Mitch Lifto doing the kicking for Campbell. Flag on the play, we'll see what that is. As it stands, it's a good kick. And we'll wait for the referees to talk about it. While they do discuss it, we remind you that OIA Sports and HSRN is brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii. No flag on the play, so the extra point is good. And Campbell, with 8:49 left to go in the first quarter, already out to a 7-0 lead over the home team, Farrington Govs. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
Here at Skippa Diaz Stadium on a beautiful Friday night for football. High 70s, no wind, not much wind, a little bit of wind, but a little humid as well. Luckily, Paul Brecht and myself, Kyle Galdera, nice and sheltered here in the press box. Big mahalo to the Farrington athletics staff. And following their opening score, Campbell boots it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Govs have it on their own 20.
This alone is already better field position than you started with on your first drive, an opportunity to perhaps go back to the run game and start to set up the passing attack. Unfortunate you give up a touchdown right away, but this game's still within hand. Unfortunate, but not out of hand.
So Kenzo Kawai, the freshman quarterback, he's working from under center, and his running back Leilehua behind him. Kawhi passing for the first time, at least attempting to, as he rolls right, stumbles a bit, and he's going to be taken down by a swarming Campbell defense. That's going to result in a loss of 3. And, Paul, that's the kind of defense that Campbell played against Mililani. The only problem they had 2 weeks ago was that they committed tons of penalties, tons of turnovers, and because of that, Mililani got the win.
Yeah, I still can't get over that game. 5 interceptions in that game by Mililani, and still to come out with the victory. It's part of the reason why, if you are if you are Campbell, you feel that game was one that you just lost out on, one you beat yourself in, and one you really would like to have back.
Farrington working from the bunch formation, trips huddled up to the right side, and it's going to be a toss to the right side, and that run will get about 4. So a nice job of Farrington getting a few yards back after the sack, but that'll still bring up 3rd and 9. So Campbell so far doing a good job of putting Farrington in tough offensive positioning.
Yeah, the offensive line has to do a little bit better of a job. So far, the Sabres just shooting through the gaps and getting an opportunity to hit behind the line of scrimmage. And Farrington, already an offense that struggles, isn't a team that is going to be able to overcome not great blocking.
So Kenzo Kawai now moving to the shotgun, trips to the left side as Campbell's line shifts. They now have 7 on the line, playing a tough man defense, and they all come home. We'll see if Campbell gets the sack here. Kauai running for his life, and he is going to be sacked. That was a jailbreak defense by definition. Giovanni Magamil Avila, the junior, we're going to call him an athlete. He's a utility player. He ran about 40 yards there to get the sack and pulled down the Farrington quarterback for a loss of 5.
Definitely looked like an athlete on that play. Kauai running for his life and almost got away. A shoestring tackle of sorts, a sack. It goes down in the book as, and another 3 and out for Farrington as they hope again to maybe get a little better luck on the punt.
So Samuela back to punt for his second time. His right foot in his own end zone. As the good snap and the kick is away. It looked to be blocked there, or at least partially deflected, and that one's going to go out at the 37 of Farrington. So another great starting field position for Campbell. And we saw, Paul, on the first drive, Campbell got the benefit of an encroachment penalty and then threw 3 passes, the latter of which went for a touchdown. So very efficient so far tonight.
Yeah, Farrington's defense has struggled so far this season, and that's not a group that's going to be able to overcome penalties against itself. And we saw some issues tackling on the first drive as well. Campbell really, really physical after the catch. Expect them to continue that. Farrington's going to have to strap it up here before too long if they don't want to get it or see the game get out of hand in this first quarter.
Along with a lot of you, our listeners, we're going to be scoreboard watching as well. Kahuku with an early 14-0 lead over Mililani, thanks in part to a big pick 6. So that's a big start for both Kahuku and Campbell tonight. Sabers leading Farrington 7-0, exactly 7 minutes left to go. And for the second straight drive, Paul, Farrington encroaches. So now 1st and 5 coming up, making it even easier for Campbell to operate. We'll see what the Sabers do here. In the gun again is Medeiros, the right-handed QB. The line looked to have jumped a bit. I think Campbell was wondering what happened there, as it's going to be a loss of about 1. Nice job by the Farrington D, but they did get a bit of a head start.
Yeah, lucky that they weren't called for another offside or encroachment. And instead, I guess, luckily, they jumped the snap at a perfect time and end up getting a tackle for a loss. And sometimes you just need a break like that to happen for you so you can start to figure things out. 2nd and 6 now, and in a way, it's kind of just like you gave up a 4-yard run on first down instead of getting penalized.
So Brady Medeiros, 2nd and 6 now in the gun. And it's going to be a handoff for the first time tonight. And the speedy running back up the middle, James Tuazon, he picks up a big first down, improves on his 3.8 yards per carry average. He gets into the red zone. He's going to be down at the 18, 1st and 10, Campbell.
Tuazon, a sophomore athlete, running back, do-it-all type of guy, and realistically, that's just what Campbell produces. If you remember last year, they had a bunch of smaller slot backs who just could do a little bit of everything, and looks like they've replenished the group once again this year.
Tuazon with the Hanaho effort. He plunges up the middle, picks up 4. That was a tough run as he ran right into the teeth of the Farrington D-line. 5:35 left to go in the opening quarter. It's been all Campbell so far, staked to a 7-0 lead. Ball placed at the 15. Campbell working from the no huddle, trips to the left side, single wide near side, and Tuazon in the backfield along with Medeiros.
Campbell, not really a team that goes to the ground all that much. Curious if they keep it there.
Play action here, swing pass to the left side. Could have been a double pass, but instead Campbell keeps it traditional as Sansano has it. He spun out of bounds after about a 9-yard gain. Make it a 10-yard gain as he's down at the 5-yard line. First down, Campbell.
1st and goal, just like that. The Sabres moving here in Kalihi and trying to leave no doubt about what their plans are moving towards the postseason. An early chance to really make a statement in this first quarter.
Medeiros running the offense smoothly so far tonight, as it's going to be another handoff. Tuazon fumbles though. Medeiros, Johnny on the spot. The quarterback falls on it. And fortunately for Campbell, it'll go down as just a loss of 1. So after all that, they keep the ball and they only move back one as it's 2nd and goal.
Oh, heartbreak there for Farrington, though. Almost got the break that you were looking for. Great job spinning and punching the ball out. And luckily, like you said, Johnny on the spot, Braden Medeiros jumps on it, unlike Cam Newton in the Super Bowl all those years ago, and ends up keeping it 2nd down and goal now, still inside the 10-yard line.
Medeiros not aware of a funny hat like Cam Newton, as this one is handed up the middle. That'll be a gain of about 2. Tuazon back at it. And that'll bring up 3rd and goal. We'll see if Campbell goes back to the run, maybe sprinkles in some play action, or spreads it out a bit.
And I mentioned this a couple of plays ago, Kyle. Campbell, not exactly a team who leans on its rushing attack this season. Just over 50 yards per game on the ground averaged as a team entering this one. They really do enjoy going through the air. I'd be pretty surprised if they kept it on the ground here, 3rd and goal.
Fullback Chaston Eliu, he's a D lineman coming into this game now to block, I'm sure, as Medeiros accordingly rolls right, looks left now, wide open receiver. That was a beautiful route as he looked everybody to the right, and his receiver came to the left side, picking up a relatively easy score. Zane Pashon again, the senior, hauls it in. Campbell up by 2 scores now, 3:44 left in the first.
Worked so nice the first time, why not try it twice? Now a 2-score lead for the Sabres, as once again you see Passion getting the pass from his quarterback.
And for Campbell, the extra point attempt by Leifto. Junior kicker in there, the righty. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up and through, and just like that, a 14-0 lead for Campbell. We'll keep it here. And Paul, it seems like the only thing really getting in Campbell's way has been some of their run play execution. Everything else so far, defense, special teams, and for the majority of the passing game, has been flawless so far tonight.
They're doing just a nice job taking what the defense gives them, taking what Farrington has given them. Twice now they've started in Gov's territory. Twice now they've started possessions off in a 1st and 5. They're just not really having too many negative plays. And on the other side for Farrington, they've had too many negative plays to start things out. And that's why you see a 14-0 score here just over 8 minutes into the action.
Campbell getting ready to kick it off for the 3rd time tonight from left to right from our broadcast position. Lots of good football going on this weekend. Not only do we have Farrington and Campbell here, we have Kahuku and Mililani going at it, but tomorrow, I know you're stoked for this, Paul, Hawaii hosting Utah State.
True.
And I heard a report that the Utah State plane was delayed because of mechanical issues, so they didn't even get to practice today. I wonder if that's going to play a factor in tomorrow's game.
We'll certainly see a very exciting weekend of football, and especially one here for the home team, as Farrington once again starting out a little bit further as the return moves past its own 25-yard line. Looks like the Govs will start at their 28.
That was Donnie Fa'avi with the nice return, and Farrington finally got what they wanted. They ran from the right all the way to the left, getting some of those, I don't want to call them crackbacks, but basically legal blocks to create that wall, getting almost out to the 30. Like you said, Paul, at the 28.
Best starting field position for the Govs so far, and I'd like to see them go back to the ground a little bit here, but get the push up front. There is talent on this offensive line for Farrington. You've got an Oregon commit over at right tackle. You got to try and get something going.
And it's going to be another delayed handoff, and Campbell was ready for it. Leilehua goes ahead for 2 yards. He ran about 10, picked up 2 in the net category, and that'll bring up second. Make it a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 coming up here for the home team Govs. You hear the fans cheering on the Farrington offense. 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Campbell leading Farrington 14-0.
Mentioned you got an Oregon commit over on the right side at right tackle in Kaloit Kili. Over on the left side at left tackle, you also have one of the top prospects in the class of 2027 here in the state of Hawaii in Isaiah Bertola, a 6'5" junior offensive lineman.
It's going to be another run up the middle. Leilehua working hard tonight as he gets up to the 38. That'll bring up 3rd and 1. Actually, they're going to rule him getting the first down, so Nice job there by him. It looks to me like they're a yard short, though, so maybe they'll look at this again. Looking from our... the referee gave the big... So he's now going to change it to 3rd down. 3rd and 1, like we said, coming up here for Farrington.
He was just excited for the Govs, just like the rest of us. That's all.
Props to our referee, Sean McGurran, the veteran.
It is 3rd and inches, to be totally fair to our Whitecap official.
We'll see what Farrington dials up here. Clock is running now. The quarterback Kauai backs from under center into the shotgun. Now he goes back under center. We'll see if he attempts a tush-push type action. Nope, he's going to hand it off to Leilehua. And Leilehua is stuffed, but he is able to spin out of the tackle and get a yard. That'll be a 1st down for the Govs.
Great second effort by the senior back because, like you said, looked like he was going to get stonewalled behind the line. Instead, keeps the legs churning, and this time our Whitecap official can confidently point for a 1st down, a first down of the night for Farrington, and all of a sudden the Govs got a little something going here as the 1st quarter winds down.
So with 1:45 in the opening period, Farrington trying to get at least to midfield on this drive, give their defense a bit of a break.
And that's a great point by you, a big thing that they're able to do here, especially by keeping it on the ground.
Fakes the handoff to Leilehua, and now Leilehua has it, but he fumbles it. That ball's on the ground. We'll see who has it. Referees stopping the action to sort out the pile. Referees looking at each other. Players unwinding, unwrapping, unraveling. Still no call yet. And it looks like it'll be 2nd down. So after all that, it'll be a gain of almost 7 for Farrington. Very fortunate they didn't lose that football.
You said it, extremely fortunate. It looked for a second that Leilehua might have had a lane and perhaps could have picked up even more, but all of a sudden he didn't have the pill with him anymore. Looked down, the ball's on the ground. Luckily for the Govs, somebody there to jump on it. Now set up 2nd down and 2. 2nd and manageable in these running situations, these running downs. This is where Farrington's offense is at its best.
1 minute left to go in the first. Farrington trying to put together a sustained drive here. As Leilehua has it again, breaks one tackle. Referees missed a hold. No, they didn't. The umpire in the middle throws it. And the reason I said that was that hold basically turned a 2-yard gain into a 7-yard gain, and the referees saw it. This is going to come back for the Govs.
Unfortunate as well, because I don't think he really needed to do it. Going to go against Kalo'i as he got the holding call against the Govs. And instead of a fresh set of downs out past midfield, the offense backs up. And Kyle, this is what we were talking about before. The last thing that Farrington can afford right now, especially down 2 scores and in a script where they're not necessarily comfortable, the last thing they can really do is shoot themselves in the foot.
So 53 seconds left in the first quarter, and that 10-yard penalty makes it 3 penalties for 20 yards already for Farrington tonight. And we talked about it, Paul. Farrington basically has to play flawless football the rest of the way if they're going to not only get out of this 14-point hole, but at least keep it manageable tonight. Kauai running right, throwing right, and a nice pass there to Isaiah Tomas. And after all that, he's going to get most of the penalty yardage back. The gain of 6 will bring up 3rd and a long 2.
Tomas, a linebacker and tight end, playing double duty for the Govs tonight. And a nice job there, just doing his job, catching it, hauling it in, and then pocketing it, putting it nice and secure as he was surrounded by Saber defenders. Sets up 3rd down and manageable out near midfield. And this is an opportunity where perhaps if you pick up 1, it becomes 4-down territory for Farrington.
And Farrington with the hard count. Players jump, but no call, as Campbell apparently didn't cross the neutral zone, so everybody's all good. And we are going to end the first quarter. Farrington 3rd and 2 coming up. Second quarter action coming up around the corner. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalu'opolena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Since 1976, locals have loved this place. And now the newly renovated Pearl at Kalawao is ready for your next round. Play their championship 18-hole course or sharpen your short game on the brand new Namomi Ekolu 3-hole pitch and putt. Open daily for residents, visitors, juniors, and groups. No membership required. With Kama'aina rates, rental clubs, and a full driving range, Pearl at Kalawao is golf reimagined. Pearl at Kalawao, where Hawaii comes to play.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kule Agbayani, along with Paul Brecht and Michael Lescaro, weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com. You can even watch the show every Monday on our YouTube channel. Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Skippa Diaz Stadium on the campus of Farrington High School. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here. Aloha Friday night lights in effect. Open division action. Campbell leading Farrington 14-0 as we start the second quarter. And Paul, this is a big play here for Farrington. 3rd and 2 from their own 47. This could determine how both teams approach the rest of this game. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Fighting for it is Leilehua. And a really nice job by the Campbell defense, stoning the running back for a gain of maybe a yard, and that'll bring up 4th and short for the Govs.
And this brings up the question that I pitched to you before. Is this 4-down territory already down by 2 scores, understanding that it's not necessarily your strength throwing the football, and instead it appears that they'll send out the punting unit? And that's another question here is maybe do you give your defense an opportunity finally, instead of starting within their own field position, you pin the Sabers back within their own 30, maybe even their own 20, and perhaps you can win the field position game that way.
So I guess my question to you, Paul, is Farrington does look like they're going to punt but could fake it, so we'll keep an eye on that. Is down 14, no wins yet in the open play. Why not go for it here?
You'll notice I was suggesting perhaps going for it.
Farrington does punt it away for the 3rd time, and a nice spiraling, cloud-touching punt, but it goes, and I say only to the 25, as we're going to keep it here. But again, basically, Paul, that's a net of 26 yards. Why not go for it? The worst thing happens is you turn it over, and Campbell basically doesn't have to throw one more pass as they march back the other way.
So the funniest thing is if you do get stonewalled on 4th and 1, you still give Campbell their worst starting field position of the game through 3 possessions.
Very true.
Nonetheless, you give an opportunity now to your defense, and this is a chance where Coach Mike Kalafa is telling his defense, hey, I know it hasn't been your season, but we believe in you. We trust in you. Go get us a stop. Go force a 3 and out, and let's try and get back into this game with the best field position for us afterwards.
So Medeiros controlling the offense for the 3rd time tonight. So far 2 for 2 with 2 touchdown drives. And this timing pass just a bit slow as his receiver didn't look back. 2nd and 10 coming up as this second quarter action on HSRN is brought to you in part by DSC Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner. And Medeiros just needs to be a little more efficient on those type of passing plays.
Yeah, and lucky that one didn't get picked off. It looks like it was Ashen Malatia Kamakeiaina Silva who was coming across the lane and almost picked it off. And that's some way that Farrington can also get back into this, is forcing a turnover.
And Medeiros trying to pass to the right side again, incomplete for Sansano. And Farrington doing a nice job bringing up 3rd and 10 we'll see if they can get a stop for the first time tonight with 1:21 gone in the second quarter.
Similarly to how that 3rd and 2 was one of the biggest plays of the game so far for the Farrington offense. 3rd and 10 now, probably the biggest play of the game, period, for Farrington, not just for the defense. An opportunity to force a punt deep within Campbell's own territory and get the ball back to your offense really quickly.
Campbell with trips to the left side here. Medeiros, 3-step drop, looking right again. And he finds his favorite receiver wide open along the sideline. Actually, one of his favorite receivers, Shieston Kupuka'a. He's the big play guy, and he gets a big first down for Campbell, picking up 16, moving the chains.
You said it. He's the big play guy, the chunk yardage player for this Campbell offense. Averages nearly 25 yards per reception. That one it's going to bring down his average. Unfortunately, just 16 yards on that one, but nonetheless moves the chains, and just like that, an opportunity missed by this Farrington defense.
Campbell with the screen pass here. Nice job by the slot receiver bouncing out. And he's going to get to the 50-yard line. That's Chase Yamashita. He did a really good job there letting his blocker get out, and he ran around the corner and picked up 9 yards, getting to midfield. Just about 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Campbell moving the ball efficiently. They had some nice runs on their last drive, now going pass-heavy on their third offensive possession. Campbell in the white unis. Farrington in their familiar red jerseys. As this one is another play-action pass caught over the middle on the slant by Sansano. And he's going to pick up 10 yards for the first down. He gets to the 40 of Farrington.
Looks like a late flag came flying on in, but Campbell continuing to do a nice job varying the receivers they go to, but coming back to Sansano and getting him the ball in space. He's a dynamic athlete, somebody we saw last year at the running back position and now kind of shifting out wide, and you see a big reason why. Anytime he's in open space, it feels like a fresh set of downs for the Sabres.
And it looks to me like this will be a personal foul, potentially a hit. Actually, they're going to wave off the flag, so everything deemed okay. What I thought was going to happen, because it came from the back judge, is that it would have been a personal foul adding to that first down, but at least for Farrington, they quote-unquote hold Campbell at their 40-yard line.
Yeah, and after all this praise I was just giving to Sansano after the catch, he only got probably 2 or 3 yards after hauling in that reception. So, yes, a decent job by Farrington.
And this time Farrington jumps way offside, as that'll be the third encroachment penalty on Farrington tonight. So defensive discipline needs to be ratcheted up for the Govs, as Avayas Lafaele is subbed out of the game. He's the one that jumped off sides.
And we've talked about it a couple of times so far through this first half. Farrington, not a team that can afford to make mistakes and put the other team in advantageous situations, and that's just what they've continued to do for this Campbell offense throughout this first half.
So 1st and 5 from the 35 of Farrington. Another quick pass over the middle. It's been a clinic as far as passing goes for Campbell tonight. This will be a gain of 18, and getting to the 17 is Campbell on the Farrington side. Campbell has it all running tonight. Sabres, 3 minutes into the second quarter, threatening again, up by 14.
That time Chase Yamashita with the reception and the wiggle inside the red zone now, and the Sabres, despite starting inside their own 25, have now worked inside the Farrington 25.
Props to the Campbell O-line. Other than that dive for the loose ball, Paul, Medeiros basically untouched so far tonight. Medeiros hands it off. This one's going to be the quick running back, James Tuazon, running up the middle. And he'll pick up about 2, make it 3 yards there on the gain. And Campbell meticulously poking and prodding, making their way down the field as they're, again, in the red zone here, going Mauka.
Honestly, doing a really nice job with a balanced offense, a group that doesn't love to go to the ground often or hasn't been able to go to the ground often. Tonight, that has not been the case, a perfect mesh between the ground and air attacks.
Speaking of mesh, the nice handoff there, the nicely timed play as Tuazon dives up the middle again. That's going to bring up 3rd and 4 after the gain of about 4 on that run. And the good thing about that, Paul, is Campbell now can either run it, they can pass it, they can do all kinds of things, even throw in a play-action wrinkle if they choose to do so.
They just continue to put themselves in third and manageable, second and manageable, these good down spots where it's hard for a defense, any defense, to stop, let alone a defense who hasn't been able to get out of their own way tonight.
Madero sends a man in motion. It's going to be a shovel pass to the jet sweeping receiver, and a nice job by the Farrington defense bottling up Sansano. All he had to do was hit the edge, and he would have been into the end zone. However, the swarming Farrington defense prevented that, and that'll bring up 4th and 5.
And it looks like number 70, Keeley got in on that tackle. We talked about him before. He's the Oregon commit on the offensive line, playing right tackle tonight. Wouldn't surprise me at the next level to see him move inside, perhaps be the center of the future for the Ducks. But tonight playing in both trenches, both offensively and defensively, trying to give the Govs an opportunity to stay in this game with 6 minutes left in this first half.
It'll be a 29-yard field goal attempt coming up here for Lifto. We'll see what the junior can do here. He's been a strong kicker all year, and this one is up and just inside the left upright. Campbell increases its lead to 17-0 with just under 6:30 to play here in the first half. And our football coverage continues. Aloha Friday Night Lights live. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite Pizza by the Slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Farrington has the ensuing kickoff after Campbell went up 17-0, and Campbell swarming on the special teams again. Donnie Fa'avi tried to get a little cute back there, but all his dancing around didn't do much as he's hauled down at his own 11. So Paul, Farrington down by 17 is going to have a long ways to go if they're going to get on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, it just has not worked out in this first half for Farrington thus far, and fortunately for the Govs, a lot of football still left to be played, and we've seen how quickly games can be changed, but unfortunately for them, they've had opportunities to change things. A 3rd and 10 that they end up allowing a conversion on, a fumble that was punched out, instead ends up being a touchdown, and now down 17-0. They see themselves starting at their own 10-yard line for the second time so far in this first half.
Kawhi leading the offense here, the bunch formation. And it's going to be another run to Leilehua, the senior. He's been the workhorse so far tonight. He picks up a gain of about 4, and that'll bring up 2nd and 6. But for Campbell, the good news is they don't give up a lot of yards, and the clock continues to run. So they have the score on their side, and so far the clock on their side as well.
Yeah, I keep mentioning in this first half that Farrington's not in a script that really suits it, or at least the game is not lining up for them to be in that script. And people might be wondering what I mean by that. And it's just really talking about Farrington wants to keep the ball on the ground. They want to run it. And in a game that they're already down 3 scores, it's not exactly that the clock is their friend currently, we'll say.
Leilehua stopped there for a short gain. However, it looks like a flag in the backfield. This one will probably be coming back. It is indeed going to be a holding call. And this should be half the distance to the goal. So we'll see exactly where they place it. But again, the bad news for Farrington, you had a nice play there, but a little bit too much tugging and grabbing going on, and that was an easy call for the referee.
Yeah, a little bit of undisciplined play throughout this first half for the Govs, and it's unfortunately just been the story of the season, where a big reason you see them sitting at 1-7 and 0-4 overall. When you play in the Open Division, you cannot get away with this many mistakes. Maybe you can in D2, maybe in D1, but the Open Division, all of these programs have talent that will punish you if you continue to punish yourself.
Farrington again running with the bunch formation. Only one receiver split out to the right. All of their 10 other players contained essentially between the tackles and their tight ends. And I say that because it makes it a lot easier for Campbell to guard using that swarming defense. And Farrington taking a little bit too much time. Their coaches are going to call for timeout. We'll take a little break as well and be right back. This is OIA football. Campbell leading Farrington 17-0 here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
Back to more of the OIA featured game of the week on HSRN 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by DSE Hawaii.
Skippa Diaz Stadium, our home for Aloha Friday Night Lights this week. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. 5:06 left to go in the opening half. Campbell with a early 17-0 lead, and Farrington deep in its own territory, trying to get something going. 2nd and 14 coming up here. And one of the few passing plays for Farrington tonight. This is going to go out to the right side to Alohi Hughes. He's one of the kick returners. He got the swing pass there, and he gets some positive yardage, but after the short gain, it'll be 3rd and 7 coming up for the Govs.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and we've talked about this a little bit off air, Kyle, it seems like even when you do have one positive play for the Govs so far, they haven't been able to follow it up with a second positive play, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a loss of yardage, whether it's allowing a conversion on 3rd down. They're just, each time they've had an opportunity to build off their good moments, they just haven't answered the bell so far.
The freshman Kenzo Kawai in the gun now. 5 receivers split out, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Kawhi has it, 3-step drop, quickly passed and almost intercepted to the right side. That was a nice job by, almost said Braden Madera, Shason Kupuka'a, the receiver slash DB slash linebacker, getting a big paw on that. He almost had a touchdown going the other way.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Farrington tonight as well. You see, and take a gander down on the sideline, you'll see number 24, Isaiah Kayu, in street clothes, the top receiver for the Govs, and a unit that has already struggled trying to get any type of momentum in the air without their top target tonight, and you see that throughout their passing game. They still just 1 first down in this first half.
1 first down and now 4 punts for the Govs. Not the direction they want to be going, but at least this will be a nice punt, and it hits a Campbell player. I don't think Campbell noticed. Wow, fortunately there, maybe it hit Farrington first, as the referee basically said first touching, so they're going to bring it back to where Farrington touched it. But I was surprised Campbell wasn't a little more urgent to get on top of that ball, because it seemed to me like it could have been a loose ball if it had hit Campbell.
It's close enough where at least you'd rather be safe than sorry. Lucky for them and unlucky for Farrington, where that would have been a game-changing turnover, something, the type of break that the Govs have been looking for. Instead, you see Campbell now starting inside Farrington territory for the 3rd time in 4 possessions.
So Campbell has it moving and grooving so far tonight. 4 possessions. Oh, and right on that note, Farrington gets its first turnover of the game. This is going to be a one-handed interception, which could be going the other way. Has a nice job there by Princeton Samuelu, the punter. So he has 4 punts and a pick as he gets this one all the way into the red zone. He's going to be pulled out at the 13 of Campbell. So Farrington has bent a lot tonight. They haven't broken yet, but they broke a big play right there.
Have yourself a play. The 6'2" senior safety, like you mentioned, do-it-all guy for Farrington. What a play coming across the field, putting up one big paw and snatching it out of the air with that one hand. I thought it was going to be a wide-open touchdown catch and run, the third one of the night to Passion. Instead, it's a game-changing turnover, a massive play by the senior, and just like that, Farrington set up inside the 15-yard line of the Sabres with less than 4 minutes to play in this first half, and the Govs have an opportunity to get right back in this one.
Yeah, and Campbell, Paul, appeared to be ready to break this one wide open, but that's how football goes, right? One big play, you shift out momentum, but now for the Govs, they need to cash in here. Down by 17, 3:42 to go before halftime. It'll be the direct snap now to the running back, and Campbell saw it coming all the way. It's going to be a gain of 2, so a nice job there by Leilehua. And then we have a flag after the play. We'll see if that was some kind of post-play shenanigans going on by somebody in the middle.
Yeah, flag came in extremely late, and this could be a big one both ways once again, where Farrington finally gets the break that they needed, finally gets the big play from the defense. And if Campbell gives them a fresh set of downs, perhaps sets them inside the 10, do you feel good about putting points on the board?
So after the play, it'll be a personal foul on the offense. So that's now, I believe, 6 penalties for over 50 yards already by Farrington. And like you said, Paul, not only does this move Farrington way back to their own 28, but down by 17, at least if you're within 15 yards of the end zone, you could kick a relatively easy field goal. I'm just saying, if Farrington gets to that point, you're going to want points. And the more of these fouls you commit, the harder you make it, even to get the relatively simple things done.
Not only that, it was after the play, so you lose the down as well. So now it's second down and
5 ever.
I was going to say.
This Leilehua run up the middle, predictable, and Campbell read it. It'll be a gain of 3. And now 3rd and 21-22 coming up here for Farrington. Not a lot of options in that playbook for a play of this length.
And I get that it's been a frustrating night and a frustrating season for this offense, for this Farrington team, but it's just stupid. It's selfish when you have a personal foul penalty that far in the red zone after a play is over. Yeah, the word is just selfish. You cannot have that happen, especially when you have an opportunity to get back into this game.
3rd and 23 here as Farrington needs to get to the 3-yard line for a first down. Another run play. Somebody's helmet flew off for Farrington. And after all that action, it'll be a gain of 2. Another handoff up the middle. Campbell stacking the box with defenders and was able to stop that play. 4th and about 20 coming up here. 2:30 left to go here in the second quarter. As one of our resident fanatics here out in front of us is basically directly asking what I was alluding to is, what about the play call there? 3rd and so long, and you're just going to run it right up the middle.
It just is really conservative. I do understand, I guess, if you're playing with 2 downs, trying to just pick up a chunk, but I don't know. It has not felt like a team that is interested in trying to compete in this first half.
So down by 17, Farrington's going to go for it. The freshman quarterback Kauai in the gun. 5 receivers split out again. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. And we'll see what Farrington can do against what is now a zone Campbell defense. Farrington's going to call timeout. We'll keep it here. 1:57 left to go in the first half. And Paul, knowing again that they need to get 20 yards, they're splitting out the receivers. But with Campbell playing, I would call it a tight zone defense because they're spread out, but they're not so far off the receivers. What kind of play do you drop here? Do you do kind of get some slant action going, try to get over the middle, and then get some yard after catch action going?
Can I be honest with you?
Go for it.
You know the game like Jackpot where you throw it up and you say dead or alive? I'm just kind of throwing it to the end zone at this point. I mean, realistically speaking, what else are you supposed to do if you are Farrington? You haven't shown any ability to put together things in the passing attack. Your offensive line hasn't been able to protect whatsoever. The rushing attack, I mean, the most you've picked up is maybe 8 yards, so you're not going to the ground there. Do you set up a screen? Have you had the ability to set up a screen so far in this first half? Your best chance might just be throwing up a jump ball into the end zone and hoping somebody makes a play for you once again. It has not been smooth sailing for this Farrington offense through this first half.
And from bad to worse, it looks like Kapolei Kelly, the heralded offensive lineman, is actually on the bench, potentially dealing with an injury. So hopefully he's going to be okay. But that sports injury report is brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii. And I bring that up because on a 4th and 20, you need as much protection as you can, especially if the freshman quarterback Kauai is going to have to run around and scramble a bit to get the receivers deep enough to convert a 20-yard pass.
Yeah, it's probably not good if you have your Oregon football commit on the sideline for that 4th and 20 play. You'd probably be right.
So big play here. Kauai has it going deep, throws to the left and right to the Campbell defensive back, almost like a punt there. But the bad news is Campbell has a chance to return this, and Campbell will return it into Farrington territory, and this one might go all the way. One more player to beat, and Campbell can't quite get it done. But it is a total field reversal as the Sabres have a beautiful run back by their DB. We'll see if there's any flags. There is a flag way back at the 24-yard line. So after all of that, Campbell does get the interception, but it's going to come back on a flag.
Looked like that was number 1 Isaiah Chong, who had it, like you said, basically thrown right to him, almost like he was a receiver, and a long way down the sideline. Like you mentioned, some laundry likely to bring this one back, but the Sacramento State commit, one of the top recruits in the class of 2027 here in Hawaii, in the safety Isaiah Chong, with a big-time interception of his own. And after getting a turnover, the Farrington offense unable to capitalize. It remains a 3-score game with just over 90 seconds left to play in this first half.
So officially a holding call will indeed bring it back to the flags at the 24. So I'm thinking they're going to go back to the 14. So Campbell will have to go 86 yards in a minute 36. They do have all 3 timeouts. And this might be a good chance to practice, Paul, for when they do get into the, of course, considering if they're going to win this game, if they get into the OIA playoffs, they're going to be faced with situations like this. So this could actually be something that Coach Darren Johnson and company welcome. Obviously you would want the ball at the 6 of Farrington.
Yes, of course.
But trying to be, positive Paul here, give yourself a chance to get a long, sustained drive before halftime and add to your 17-0 lead.
Situational football and situations that you're likely to be facing in less than 2 weeks.
Medeiros, 3-step drop going right, has a receiver. And like we predicted, Campbell is going to try to march down the field. So not only do they get the first down as Kupu Ka'a has it, he jumps out of bounds about 13 yards down the field and gets out of bounds. So he preserves the timeouts and stops the clock with 1:28 now before halftime.
Kupu, just another one of these Campbell receivers who is probably going to play at the next level. Right now, the number 13 recruit in the class of 2027 here in the state of Hawaii, but he's somebody who would not be surprising to see him rise up.
Medeiros with a wide open receiver, almost out to midfield is Campbell. That was Pachon. He's going to be bottled up and then thrown down by Farrington. Luckily, Farrington doesn't get a penalty there, but it's going to be a clock stoppage first down here, as Campbell has it at the 48 of Farrington. So not only do they get out of bounds when they need to, but they get the first down, stop the clock, and preserve the timeouts again. And, of course, now they call timeout to talk about it. But so far, 2 plays, and they've already gone from the 14 to the 48. So in good position here for a late half drive by Campbell.
Just think about the execution difference, though, between the two teams right now, right? One of you gets an interception, puts you inside of the 20-yard line. You have an opportunity to potentially put points on the board, and instead you end up further back than you started. And then on the other side, you have what is a massive interception return called off of the board because of a holding penalty, and it doesn't seem to really matter because now you're moving efficiently down the field. It's the difference between a team who just isn't ready to compete for the playoffs in the Open Division and one who is very much so preparing themselves to face some of the best teams that this state has to offer.
And I believe Campbell will be getting the second half kickoffs. So this is one of those quote-unquote fifth period opportunities where between the 2-minute 30 mark of the second quarter and 2:30 in the third quarter, you almost treat it like a fifth period. So if Campbell can score here and then again early in the third, you basically almost double the score if you can really execute there. So Campbell, I'm sure, trying to get something as far as points go before halftime. After the Campbell timeout, it'll be a 4-receiver set again. Trips to the right side, Medeiros in the gun. 5-step drop looking down the middle. He's going to be sacked, though. That's a nice job by the Farrington defense. And that's big number 50 getting the sack. Leilehua, the sophomore D lineman, picking up the big stop there on the quarterback.
Helping him out was Winston Toitu'u, fellow defensive lineman, and that's what you need if you are Farrington. Some sort of defensive pop to help out a young offense and one that has struggled through this first half.
Medeiros running the no huddle again, looking right, now throwing right, and that one's going to be dropped by the intended receiver out to the right side. That was intended for James Tuazon, the speedy running back. And with 39 seconds before halftime, it'll be 3rd and almost 10, make it 8 coming up here. Actually, after the sack, 3rd and 18 coming up for the Govs.
A really big chance now for Farrington to avoid giving up more points after the turnover. It's been a disastrous first half in a lot of ways, but if you can go into halftime riding some positive momentum, there's a lot of football still left to be played, Kyle. There's no reason that Farrington should be thinking this game's over quite yet.
Stay tuned for our Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show. We'll bring you stats and analysis and scores from around the state as Medeiros goes deep. He has a receiver, and Campbell deep into Farrington territory. That was a beautiful play call as Kupuka'a basically beat all the defenders trailing him, and he's going to get to the 24-yard line. First down Campbell, and they call time with 31 seconds left before halftime.
Mentioned it before in this first half, Kupuka'a, the big play receiver for this Sabres offense, averages nearly 25 yards per reception, more than 25 on that one as they flip the field completely, and where it looks like they're on their heels, potentially going to have to punt and go into halftime with just this 17-point lead. Instead, now right into the edge of field goal range and thinking about maybe 6 as well.
And, Paul, you mentioned it, getting that momentum back. 3rd and 18, most defense would be, hungry for a stop there, but it just seemed like Campbell was ready for it. It was just a casual pass by Medeiros. They found the pocket in the soft zone defense and basically, like you said, flipped the field from the 40 all the way to the 24. So a big gain for Campbell, and now with one timeout left, relatively plenty of time, 31 seconds, if they want to get into that end zone.
Yeah, a really nice job here in this final 90-second span by the Sabres, and a good job answering the bell when they were down in 3rd and 18. Like you said, Farrington had an opportunity, just couldn't answer. The Sabres do.
Medeiros, 2 receivers to either side. Takes a 5-step drop looking left now. Now he's going to run up the middle, and he's going to hang on to it. He's going to run to the sideline, but he can't get out of bounds. He's going to get a big hit by the defense and an immediate timeout by Campbell. So it'll be a gain of about 4, maybe, 4 yards. So 2nd and about 6 coming up here at the 20, and Campbell exhausts its final timeout. So 22 seconds before halftime, Sabres leading the Govs 17-0. And while Campbell takes some time to talk it over, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. You're listening to OIA Football presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
KGU AM K236CR Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Campbell with a 17-0 lead over Farrington. Kyle Galdera here alongside Paul Brecht. Ku'ule Agbayani back in the studio, keeping us on track and on time. Michael Lascaro also here with us, getting some great photo and video assets for our social media and website. And Paul, big drive for Campbell here. They've come all the way from the 14-yard line on their side to now the 19 of Farrington as far as the defense goes. So they're in the red zone, no timeouts left, but 22 seconds to work with.
A really big opportunity for both sides. I don't want to be hyperbolic and say that this is the game, but in a way, this could be a big opportunity for Farrington to get a stop. Things have not gone your way in this first half. Campbell has answered every single bit of adversity that you've given them, and once again, we see the Govs jumping offside, and just some free yardage isn't going to help you get a stop here before the end of the half.
So the encroachment penalty takes Campbell from the 19 to the 14. And right there, you basically allow Campbell to now make it, you almost set him up, because this is the type of yardage you want if you're going to throw some kind of quick out or slant. You can get inside the 4 still and get a first down, stop the clock, and go from there.
Not to mention, we've already seen the Sabres knock down a field goal from right around this range. Are they right there once again?
Medeiros, 2 receivers to either side, and Farrington jumps again. No call there. Medeiros going right. He has a receiver, and Campbell puts it in for 6 again. That was a well-run 2-minute drive. Call it a minute 30 drive. As Campbell running on all cylinders, they now go up 23-0. with just 16 seconds left before halftime.
Just another beautiful ball. Farrington didn't look ready for the snap. Campbell ready to go right away, and a touchdown ends up being scored. It's 23-0 pending a PAT.
We'll get the touchdown scorer for you, but the main thing is the touchdown is good. Farrington allows another score before intermission. And now it'll be up to Lifto. And the extra point is going to be blocked, so that is a positive for Farrington. They hold the score at 23-0, but for Campbell, they wanted those points before intermission, and they got them on a beautiful timing route by Medeiros. He waited for the receiver to hitch a bit. The hitch and go worked to perfection. Campbell up by 23.
You said it, Kyle. Just a really nice, well-executed final drive for Campbell. And we talk about it all the time on these high school broadcasts. The 5th quarter, as our friend Darnell Arsenault likes to call it, these middle 4 minutes in the 2nd quarter and the first 4 minutes of that 3rd quarter, a chance for teams to really take control of a game. And Campbell really doing a nice job setting themselves up with that. And I was going to say for Farrington on the other side, you know, if you were able to get a stop there, you can still feel pretty good about the first half. This is a defense that's allowed more than 40 points per game throughout this season. The last 2 games, they've allowed more than 60 points. Coming off one, then they give up 70. There have been positive moments for the Govs. It's just when the biggest moments have come, they have not been able to step up to the plate so far.
And also, we've talked about it a few times. Farrington had the chance to go for it on 3rd and short, 4th and short, and instead chose to punt. And, you know, obviously it's easy for us to sit up here and judge.
Of
but,
course.
You know, knowing that Farrington is yet to win a league game and knowing that they need to win this game in order to stay around, hang around on the very fringe of playoff eligibility, there comes a point where you're going to have to press the issue because Farrington's offense just is not tuned up enough to go up against this strong Campbell defense as this ball is fair caught. 12 seconds left before halftime. Farrington will have it at its own 28. So we'll see what Farrington does here. I'm guessing they're just going to take a knee and get into halftime. But again, you have to start picking your spots knowing that Farrington has 1 half to go, down by 3+ scores. So Campbell getting that big touchdown, and they'll get the ball coming out of halftime. So all the momentum leaning toward the Sabres right now. Senior night here at Farrington. Govs trying to send their seniors off with a bit of positivity. We'll see what they do here. Freshman quarterback Kenzo Kawai will hand it off. And Leilehua trying to get something going. He picks up a nice 9-yard gain, and that'll be it for the first half. All Campbell so far, 23-0. They lead it at halftime. We'll be back with the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show, a bunch of stats, analysis, information, and of course scores from around the state. Campbell 23, Farrington 0. We're at halftime. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalu'opolena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. It's a Week 6 showdown in the NFC as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Carolina Panthers. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Steve Berline, Bill Rosinski, and myself as Dak Prescott and the Cowboys look to make it back-to-back road wins. But Bryce Young and the Panthers are perfect at home and looking for a second straight win as well. Cowboys, Panthers. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
On Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
What if we told you that you could turn $1 into $2 just by going shopping? Bet. Introducing DoubleDownDealsHawaii.com, Honolulu's home for buy one, get one free deals from your favorite local activities, restaurants, and travel spots. Visit DoubleDownDealsHawaii.com today, where you don't need luck to save. Are you a business owner interested in radio and digital advertising without ever cutting us a check? Send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook at Hawaii Sports Radio for more info about this 100% trade opportunity.
Experience one of Central Oahu's biggest community events, Pearl at Kalawau's monthly night market. With over 80 vendors, you'll find delicious food, retail treasures, desserts, and specialty drinks, all in one place. Bring the whole family for a night of culture, live entertainment, and community. Each month features a new theme and opportunities to support local businesses and nonprofits. Golf, dining, and community all come together at Pearl at Kalawau.
What are you doing out there?
Come on! I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Hawaii.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kule Agbayani, along with Paul Brecht and Michael Lescaro, weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com. You can even watch the show every Monday on our YouTube channel. Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481.
We're dancing into the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show. Campbell dancing all the way to a 23-0 lead at halftime over Farrington. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. And as we open up our Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show, we want to remind you or ask you, are you ready to cruise in your next ride? Ko'olau FCU offers auto loans with super competitive rates as low as 4.49% APR and flexible terms up to 84 months. Whether it's a sleek new model or a reliable used vehicle, they've got you covered. Plus, you can enjoy quick pre-approvals and extra 0.5% rate reduction on electric or hybrid vehicles. Slide into better savings and a smoother term package today. Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA. And Paul, Campbell has been money tonight, especially on offense. Even though they're shutting out Farrington, it's been an efficient passing game led by Medeiros and company for the Sabres.
Yeah, I mean, the Sabres have looked every part of a team playing for their playoff life tonight, a team who knows the stakes, and the offense has been ready to go. Now, that's been helped out by some phenomenal field position as well, but Braden Medeiros has just been outstanding. Outside of phenomenal one-handed interception by this Farrington defense, he has been essentially perfect, sacked just twice throughout the night. The offensive line doing a nice job. It's been a great showing by the Sabres on the road through the first half, and it's a big reason why you see them up 23-0. Medeiros has 3 touchdown passes. Really, the only bad thing that has gone on for the Sabres was a blocked PAT to end the first half, and conversely for Farrington, unfortunately for them, when they have had an opportunity to build on the positive, they just have not answered the bell, whether it's a penalty that sets them back behind the line of scrimmage, or it's a turnover, or it's just not being aggressive enough offensively when they have had opportunities. It's just been a struggle throughout the opening half of play. A lot of football still to be had, but if you are the Govs, it's starting to get late pretty early unless you make a big-time special teams or defensive play.
And you made a really good point there, Paul, is when Farrington had their interception, they basically took it from Campbell being at the 20 of Farrington to Farrington having it on offense at the 13 of Campbell, and yet Campbell's defense held up the donut. So instead of getting it within 10 points, Campbell not only got the ball back, but then scored before halftime to make it 23-0. So that was a big swing of momentum that, we're talking about Farrington being winless here in Open Division play. That could have been the drive to get Farrington back into the game, back into the season, but it might have been too little too late as Campbell really stood strong there on defense.
Yeah, not to be hyperbolic, but that was the season in a way. You get a massive play from a senior safety coming across the coming across the field.
Getting ready for basketball already, Paul.
I am clearly. Princeton Samuelu, just a great job looking like a wide receiver on the play as he puts Farrington in scoring position, and instead of a positive first play, they have a personal foul afterwards, which loss of down, loss of yardage, sets them back and completely changes things. Campbell scores and practically puts the game away in the first half. They really will have an opportunity to put things away starting this second half.
The Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show rolls on. Campbell with a commanding 23-0 lead over Farrington. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
Discover the fresh flavors at Pearl at Kalawau's newly renovated restaurant. From loco moco and fried rice plates to Hawaiian food Fridays, every dish is inspired by Hawaii's finest local ingredients. Stop by any day. No need to be a golfer. Enjoy their full-service bar, daily dining, and happy hour specials weekdays from 3 to 6:30. Planning a special celebration? Their indoor and outdoor venues, custom catering, and stunning views will make any event unforgettable. Pearl at Kalawau. Gather, celebrate, and savor with aloha.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the HHSAA and the Hawaii Interscholastic Athletic Directors Association.
The Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show continues on here at Farrington High School. Govs trailing Campbell 23-0 in the regular season finale for Farrington. And Paul, let's look at some of the scores around the state, including the big Open Division matchup between Kahuku and Mililani.
We'll start with yesterday's results as Leilehua falls to Castle 53-14. Ke'au gets a forfeit win over Pa'oa. You mentioned the big-time matchup between Kahuku and Mililani. That one at Kahuku in the third quarter. Kahuku up 42-0. A dominant statement by the number one team in the state right now. Kailua dominates Radford at Radford 49-3. That one, Radford's starting quarterback goes down with an injury. Hope he's okay as you look towards the playoffs. Nanakuli up 20-14 over Kaiser at halftime. Konawaina over Kealakehi 45-0 in the second quarter. KS Hawaii up 20-7 over Hilo. That's at Wong Stadium at half. Those are all your updates across the island here tonight.
So let's go back to that big circled game. Kahuku 42-0 over Mililani. And we talked about it in our pregame, Paul. Kahuku and Mililani, on paper at least, the cream of the crop in the OIA. Are you surprised at how much separation Kahuku has between them and Mililani, or is this something you were predicting coming into tonight?
I don't think it's all that surprising. I don't want to say Mililani's record is misleading at 3-0, but I do think that there is a good chance Kapolei is the better of the teams in the OIA when it comes to somebody who's going to end up challenging Kahuku this year. Kahuku's defense, phenomenal per usual. It seems they've started to figure things out offensively. They found their quarterback in Troy Maratarangi, and well, tonight, guess what? Mililani struggling with turnovers once again, an interception, a couple of lost fumbles. Just can't happen against a Kahuku team on the road especially, and Red Raiders taking care of business.
And I think we have to give extra props to Kahuku because there was a time early in the year, I know Darnell and I got to see them play Konawaina, and while they beat up on the Wildcats pretty good, there was some doubt because Kahuku looked very rusty, like they were having a hard time executing. But props to their new coaching staff of getting that team ready. And it seems like, I know we're still relatively, obviously late in the regular season, but early in the playoff picture, it does seem like Kahuku is starting to peak at the right time. And that's what you want to do. And if the Red Raiders can get that number one seed in the OIA, they get to host a first-round game. And basically, like we said, as long as you win one playoff game, the way that the states are formatted, you're in states. So Kahuku is right there as far as getting back to, they had the long winning streak. They lost last year to St. Louis. But all you got to do is get in, and you got a chance.
It's funny, after all the chaos of the first couple of weeks, you remember how crazy people were getting? Oh, Kahuku, it's not the same Kahuku anymore. Why are they still towards the top of the power rankings? All of these different things. And at the end of the day, Big Red Nation continues to be pretty darn good at football. They continue to produce just talented football players on both sides of the ball. And like you said, looks like they're peaking right at the correct time as they enter the OIA playoff picture or get ready to enter the OIA playoffs.
That'll bring it into our Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show. Stay tuned for second half action. Campbell looking to add to its 23-0 lead over Farrington. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with a Aloha.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
To every referee, umpire, and judge in high school sports, we want to say, we see you.
We see everything you do for us that goes unnoticed.
We see the positive role models that you are.
We see the way you get unfairly criticized just for doing your job.
The truth is, we couldn't play without you.
So thank you for investing your time in us.
Thank you for protecting the integrity of the game, no matter what.
We hope you always know how much we appreciate you.
Because without you, this is just recess. It's not really a game.
Thank you for always making it possible for us to play the sports we love.
Want to serve the students in your community? Sign up to become an official in Hawaii at highschoolofficials.com.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kapolei Agbayani, along with Paul Brecht and Michael Lescaro, weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com. You can even watch the show every Monday on our YouTube channel. Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Dial Electric Supply.
Farrington getting ready to kick it off to Campbell to start the third quarter. Kyle Galdera joined by Paul Brecht here at Skippa Diaz Stadium. Michael Lescaro on site as well. Kapolei Agbayani back in the studio. Paul, it's been all Campbell so far. We'll see if the Sabres continue to sharpen their teeth against this Farrington squad or if the Governors step up to try to rule the rest of the night. Opening kickoff of the second half is up and away, and this one is going to be handled by Campbell. We'll see if they can get something positive here. And a couple of missed tackles, definitely positive for the Sabres, as still on his feet is number 7, Bryson Sansano. And after all that running, Paul, he finally gets brought down at about the 42. Nice job there. He was trying to let the ball bounce out of bounds. It stayed in, so he said, why not pick it up? He gained 15 more from there.
Basically got it to where it would have been anyway. And it's just a continuation of what we saw in that first half from Campbell, Kyle, where the Sabres came in, they were ready to go from the opening snap. They continue to do so to open things up here in the third quarter as they begin out past their own 40-yard line, already up by 4 scores. This is a massive opportunity for the Sabres to put things away early on. And if you are Farrington, this is a chance for you to say, hey, we're not ready to let go of the rope quite yet.
So Medeiros, the sensational quarterback for Campbell, in the shotgun again. He's been running a fine offense so far for the Sabres, 23-0. The visitors lead here on Farrington Senior Night. It's going to be a run to the right side. Oh, and almost a horse collar tackle there. Luckily, Farrington wasn't called for it. James Tuazon has it, and he's going to be spun out of bounds after a gain of 7. Actually make it a 6-yard gain after the referees adjust, but still, nonetheless, he gets out to the 47. Nice job waiting patiently, still using his speed, though, to bounce it outside and pick up the big run. Let's see what Campbell does here. Trips to the left side, a couple of stacked receivers, and that usually means screen. It is a screen pass. Campbell has a lane And that receiver, open Chase Yamashita, had a lot of room to run as he gets it all the way down to the 30. That's going to be a pickup of 22, and Campbell already into Farrington territory.
Just a plethora of weapons for this Campbell offense. In that first half, two different guys end up getting touchdown receptions. We talked about Zane Paison, who was phenomenal through the opening 24, but then to close things out there, it was Shaisen Kupuka'a who ended up grabbing the third touchdown as Campbell just continues chugging along offensively, a gain of 5 here on first down.
To a zone ahead for 5 yards, 2nd and 5 coming up. Very few negative plays for Campbell. I can only, Paul, remember about 2 or 3 where they haven't either gotten back to the original line or gotten at least 5 or 10 yards. So very efficient as far as offense goes for Campbell tonight.
Great recipe for success in football. Just don't go backwards.
Medeiros pump fakes, looking to run now. And instead he's going to pull it back and throw it away wisely as he gets out of the pocket, gets it past the line of scrimmage. That's legal, and that'll bring up 2nd and 5.
And that's the difference between having a veteran quarterback and somebody who is not necessarily as experienced. Sometimes you see younger QBs, they'll take the snap there or they'll throw the ball up and put it in harm's way, and that can be a drive killer. Instead, he just gets out of the pocket, does the appropriate thing to avoid a intentional grounding penalty, and instead sets up still 3rd down and manageable for the Sabres offense.
3rd and 5 coming up here. Medeiros in the gun, 2 receivers to either side. Looking right all the way, throws it right, and a wide open receiver with a spin move. A nice juke there by Kupuka'a. He turns a 5-yard gain into 10. Easy first down for Campbell there. Moving ahead to the 15 of Farrington.
And we just talked about it. Kupuka'a had a touchdown reception to end things in that first half, and he's somebody in the class of 2027 here in the state of Hawaii who would not be surprising to see him continue to rise up the rankings. Currently holds an offer from UNLV, and it wouldn't surprise me if those offers come flying in after this year.
UNLV scout was at the Mililani Campbell game, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of those offers were given out there, but we'll see what Campbell can do the rest of the way. A 1-yard gain up the middle by Tuazon. Campbell working quickly, but also making sure to take time off the clock as they hold on to this 23-0 lead. 2 minutes gone here in the 3rd quarter.
Another player I want to point out for Campbell, somebody who's putting in work on the offensive and defensive line, Chance Chargualoff, who he's the number 26 recruit in the state of Hawaii here in the class of 2026, according to 24/7 Sports. His lone offer from the home team, the University of Hawaii. He's playing left tackle tonight, but a lot of scouts that I've talked to think he's going to shift inside at the next level, play some center.
Screen pass here, tipped and finally caught, and now fumbled. And it looks like that will be called a completed pass and then a fumble. And the referees are pointing Farrington's way. So basically Campbell, the only thing stopping them tonight has been some errant passes. They had an interception, and now actually the referees will talk about it, but as it stands, it's a completion, a drop, a fumble, and then a recovery by Farrington.
I think after the discussion here, this should come back as an incomplete pass. I don't think Sansano ever truly had full possession of the ball. We'll see what the officials end up deciding on.
I agree with you, and actually the referees are going to rule it. Michael Lascaro had a great shot of that play. It was not a completion, but the referees talk about it. They do call it a completed pass and a fumble. So Farrington ball after the turnover.
But that's exactly what we've talked about, where Farrington has just needed a break all night, and that time they get one to finally go their way. Campbell, a group that had been easily moving down the field, this time a careless error that ends up going on as a fumble, and now can you put some points on the board after it?
Campbell's defense playing angry here as Teleni Leilehua bottled up. That'll be a loss of 1. Our OIA coverage on HSRN brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we're creating a healthier Hawaii.
Yeah, unfortunate break for Campbell, but Farrington still, and you like to see that from the defense because it can be easy to just toss in the towel after a rough first half. They had not just one, not just two, but 3 different defenders diving on that ball as soon as it hit the turf.
Freshman quarterback hands it off. Actually, he hangs onto it. He's going to be brought down by 3 Campbell defenders.
Should have handed it off.
He should have indeed. That was number 19, Kale Lunval, a sophomore utility player, picking up the sack there, and that'll bring up 3rd and 14 here for the Farrington offense.
But Campbell's defense hasn't really had to worry about the passing attack all night, regardless of if it's the running back getting the ball or if it's a quarterback keeper. Farrington just hasn't gone to the air all that much, and when you're able to pin your ears back, when you're able to send the defense just like this, I mean, you have no chance back there, especially for a freshman in his first 3 career starts playing some of the best competition in Hawaii. You're just not putting him in a good place to be successful.
So 3rd and 14 coming up here for Farrington, down by 23, 4 minutes gone in the third. Quick pass out to the left side, completed to Alohi Hughes, and that'll be a relatively short pass, bringing up 4th and 9, and Farrington looks set to punt again. Again, they get the turnover, Paul, but not able to do anything with it on offense, and essentially it's just a roadblock, a speed bump in Campbell's eventual path to great offense tonight. So the returner for Campbell, Bryson Sansano, standing near the 50-yard line. Just some of the fans calling for a fake punt here. I don't know if it's the right spot or time to go for it, but we'll see what Farrington does.
Always hit them when they're not expecting it most, I guess, right?
And Farrington's 5th punt of the night is a great one into Campbell territory with a Farrington bounce all the way to the 32 of Campbell. So at least Farrington can flip the field following the turnover. But again, Paul, not able to capitalize at that moment. We'll be back with more OIA football. Campbell leading Farrington 23-0. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your 6. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Following the punt, Campbell gets it back and a quick pass out to Sansano, nets 0. So 2nd and 10 coming up. 23-0 Campbell halfway through this third quarter.
They've called the police on us.
Yeah, a couple of police cruisers with the lights on heading by. Wasn't us.
It was not us. Don't tell them we're here.
Trips to the right side. Campbell sending a running back to the right side as well. Medeiros to his running back. Tuazon has a lot of room to run, and he's going to get past the 41. Lowers the boom on the defender, and that'll make it 3rd and 1 coming up. Actually, they're going to rule it a first down for, wait a minute, no, 3rd and 1 indeed.
They lied to you again. I really like that play call, though, Kyle. You mentioned it. You had trips over on the right side. It ends up opening up completely the space for the running back there, and then just getting the ball to your playmaker in space. It ends up being close enough to a first down.
And now a first down, and the only thing stopping the running back from going the distance, that was Zayden Zade'ea, was his own feet. He trips over himself and gets to the 49. That is going to be the first down. And we're now at the 5:45 mark in the third quarter. Campbell on the move again.
I hate when the turf monster gets you, and that's what looked like it happened right there. The 50-yard line, jumping up and almost grabbing his ankles.
To his credit, I reffed here last week, and this turf is falling apart. I hope Farrington is going to replace it soon. As this pass over the middle, a one-handed catch. That's one of the catches of the year. Sansano stuck his right paw up, picked it up for the 20-yard gain, but after I reffed that game last week, half of the field was in my car sticking to my shoes. That's how beat up this field is. I got to go vacuum it out this weekend.
Oh, gosh. That was a phenomenal one-handed snag. We've had a few one-handed catches here tonight, Kyle. One of them on an interception, and then that one, impressive by Sansano for a couple of reasons. He reaches out behind him to haul it on in, but then took some punishment from a few Farrington defenders. Ends up holding on all the way through the ground to pick up a fresh set of downs. We talked about it. He's burst onto the scene last year as a sophomore and this year as a junior now, making his impact felt not just in the run game, but the pass as well.
Farrington calls timeout. We'll step away as well. This is OIA football. Campbell up big over Farrington here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
Following the injury timeout, Farrington can't catch a break. That was a fumble right out of the break by Campbell, and Campbell falls on it. That was Zade Ea. And basically, instead of Farrington ball, it's now 2nd and 8 Campbell.
I was going to say, they picked up 2 yards. It's still, even when they don't want a positive play, they get a positive play. It's that kind of night for Campbell.
Medeiros going deep. He has an open receiver right at the 25. That's another big gainer. Almost 20. Down to the 16. And now, is that Medeiros down hurt? He pops up. He's a tough guy. He kind of winds his right arm a bit. He says, "Coach, I'm okay. Leave me in this game."
I thought he was just saying to wind the clock after another first down for this Campbell offense. No, certainly concerning in a night where you already are without your normal backup quarterback in Elijah Mendoza. I mentioned that before, was seen in a boot before the game began. And they will actually bring Medeiros out of the game for at least one snap here after he was favoring that right throwing shoulder.
And now Evan Mendoza, the junior slot back, is going to come in. I think he's the 4th quarterback on the roster. He's going to get it, of course, hand it off, and it's going to be around up the middle for 2 yards. It'll get to the 15-yard line, 2nd and 9 coming up. And
looks
Campbell continues to move the ball.
Looks like Medeiros is fine, helmet back on, and he jogs back out to the field, slapping 5s with Mendoza, and that's fortunate for a lot of Sabres fans. The last thing you want before the playoffs start is to lose QB1, a guy who has been phenomenal here tonight.
So Campbell with 2nd and a long 8 here at the 15 of Farrington. 2 receivers to either side. Medeiros back in the shotgun. Oh, a nice move by the shifty running back Tuazon, and he is going to dip, dive, and dodge his way to the end zone. That's a 15-yard run. Tuazon did it all there, made Farrington look silly on defense, and Campbell with another score. They're now up 29-0.
First time they go to the ground for a touchdown tonight, and a beautiful move by Tuazon just to make defenders miss. We've seen him with the ability to do that a few times, but not able to totally go the distance. That time he finds pay dirt, and pending a PAT, it'll be 30-0 in favor of the Sabres.
So Campbell pouring it on here late in the 3rd quarter, 2:58 left to go. in the stanza. Lifto trying to make this extra point after his was blocked to end the second quarter. This one is up and well good. Right down the middle. 30-0 Campbell over Farrington. Paul, we're going to keep it here, and just kind of how we talked about it during the pregame. Campbell needed to get this win if they wanted to remain in playoff contention, and so far they're doing just that. But with about a quarter left to go, what do they have to do to keep the pedal to the metal and not let Farrington get any sort of idea about getting back in this game?
Well, they've done a great job all throughout the night so far, just capitalizing on the opportunities that Farrington has given them. They should continue to do that, and this is an easy win for them. You hope to get out of this game completely healthy as well. I mean, you've seen Farrington continue to lead on the ground attack throughout the night. I have no reason to believe they're going to start going to the air despite the script that they need to flip to at this point. If you are Campbell, continue to load up the box, continue to send as many defenders as possible. And I mean, until they show that they can beat you down the field, why wouldn't you not respect the pass for Farrington at this point?
Be sure to follow Hawaii Sports Network on social media for behind-the-scenes content, breaking sports news, and much more at High Sports Radio. One of those bits of breaking news we want to bring you is Waianae head coach Vince Nihipali has stepped down from the helm as head man at Waianae. So he went from Honolulu. I think he spent some time at Waipahu, and then he made his way to Waianae and helped rebuild that program. But he's stepping down, so mid-season change for Waianae, and that's tough, at least for the players, I would think, because they're getting ready to make a run into the D2 playoffs, and now they're going to, the D1 playoffs, and they're going to be without their skipper.
It's not ideal timing for the Sea Riders in any way, shape, or form, but I mean, adversity ends up bringing out the best in people sometimes, whether they say pressure makes diamonds and all the corny phrases. It's an opportunity for Waianae to step to the plate nonetheless. You feel bad for the kids. It's unfortunate nonetheless, but there's still football to be played.
Still a lot of game to go here. 30-0 Campbell. Farrington has it at its own 20. And for the first time tonight, Farrington is spreading out the offense. It took almost 3 quarters, but now the freshman Kauai is looking ready to throw it. 3-step drop looking left, and this is going to be picked. It's going to be a pick 6, and maybe that's why Farrington hadn't done that all game. It's going to be a big run back by number 0, Tainoa Lave. And Lave loves that one as he is in for the pick 6. Just like that, Campbell scoring within a matter of 4 seconds. They are now up 36-0. And Paul, you could almost see that. You could see it coming from where we were sitting, but the quarterback was looking that way, looking left, and he looked at one receiver the whole time. Lave scouted it out, picked it up, picked it off, and ran it in for the score.
Lave, just one of those guys who we haven't been able to talk about much tonight, and that's because you haven't seen Farrington go to the pass game much. The safety, the athlete, the corner, the do-it-all guy for Campbell. He's a 3-star athlete, the number 13 recruit in this year's Hawaii class of 2026, and he's a San Diego State commit, getting ready to play at the next level. Had 11 tackles and a forced fumble versus Kapolei. First time we've heard from him here tonight.
So Lifto's extra point makes it 37-0. And for Campbell, that means it's running clock time because we've reached the mercy rule threshold. If you lead by 35 or more in the second half, the clock basically runs, except for a couple of different scenarios: scores, penalties, injuries, and timeouts. So we'll see if Campbell can continue to put the stranglehold on Farrington, and if the Govs can mount any sort of comeback, knowing that they're 0-4 in league play, 1-7 on the regular season, and are basically a quarter and a little bit away from seeing their season come to an end. So Campbell will be kicking it from left to right, Mauka to Makai here at Skippa Diaz Stadium. Really nice night here on an Aloha Friday for football. And so far it's been all Campbell. 5 touchdowns and a field goal, 1 missed extra point, has brought us to our 37-0 margin. Farrington has had its opportunities. They've gotten a couple of turnovers, but haven't been able to cash in. All Campbell so far tonight. The clock should wind. Here it goes, and the kick is away. Farrington has it. Coming up from its own 15, now to the 20. Bouncing out to the 26 is Farrington, and we'll see what the Govs can do here on offense.
I really do like DJ Fa'avi, the returner for this team, who has just continued to try his best. Donnie Fa'avi, a cornerback, somebody who has not exactly had his name called many times, but runs hard on the return, has continued to try and give the best field position as possible for Farrington, despite not the greatest kickoff coverage in front of him.
I want to remind you that you can listen to all of our local play-by-play broadcasts on demand. You can relive the moments of this game and many others at hawaiisportsradio.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Big shout out to all of our not only radio listeners, our digital online listeners, but also our YouTube listeners. Thanks for checking out that channel. As Farrington runs it up the middle, it's going to be one of the best plays of the night for Farrington. It'll be a gain of 11 as Leilehua gets the first down. But for our YouTube listeners and viewers, we want to remind you that every Monday you can catch Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule, Paul, and Michael. It's a live show, not only on radio, but on YouTube, so you can really interact with the game there.
Always a fun time and Wake Up in the Den. I missed it while I was away, but glad to be back now. So much going on here in Hawaii, whether we've talked about it before, the University of Hawaii football team getting ready for a massive matchup tomorrow against Utah State, or getting ready for the OIA, ILH, and state playoffs here for football and girls volleyball. So much action, and not to mention, Kyle, we got to get ready for basketball season here right around the corner as well. So no rest for the weary. It's super, super fun. And both of these teams trying to close out this third quarter strong.
Yeah, not only, of course, Farrington there with a 7-yard run, make it an 8-yard run, 2nd and 2 coming up. But you mentioned HPU basketball coming up, OIA boys and girls. And I just booked my trip for the Maui Invitational. I'm getting ready to, looking forward to working that for ESPN again. And basketball is right around the corner. When the season shifts and the holidays come up, that means basketball season. So we'll make that smooth transition from the gridiron to the hardcourt here on HSRN.
Still a lot of talent we're excited to see as Farrington getting a little positivity to close this third quarter. Gets Campbell to jump off sides. An encroachment call provides a, I believe, fresh set of downs now for the Govs.
Yep, 1st and 10 in Campbell territory. 37-0 the Campbell lead. The clock continues to run. Another fake toss, handoff, a counter up the middle. And this is a nice job against the backups of the Campbell defense by Leilehua. That's his 3rd straight run, his 3rd first down on this drive. And as the quarter comes to a close, Farrington showing signs of life as we head to the 4th quarter. All Campbell so far, 37-0 over the Govs. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
The Department of Veterans Affairs is so innovative, it not only improves the lives of veterans, it transforms the lives of healthcare professionals who serve them. With access to the latest technologies and remarkable benefits, transform your future at vacareers.va.gov.
Hawaii Pacific Health proudly presents Hawaii Pacific University Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Listen live to HPU Sharks women's volleyball and more on 95.1 FM AM 760 or at hawaiisportsradio.com.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. It's a Week 6 showdown in the NFC as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Carolina Panthers. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Steve Berline, Bill Rosinski, and myself as Dak Prescott and the Cowboys look to make it back-to-back road wins. But Bryce Young and the Panthers are perfect at home and looking for a 2nd straight win as well. Cowboys, Panthers. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
On Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Campbell, the defense stepping up here to start the 4th quarter. A big sack of the freshman Kawhi. He will lose 10 yards. And Campbell forces a 2nd and 10. The clock continuing to run in the mercy rule timing. Campbell 37, Farrington nothing. And Paul, we talked about it in the pregame, a lot of different scenarios. But when you look at it from straight chalk, we expected Campbell to win tonight. And now that we know that Kahuku is having smooth sailing against Mililani, it really looks like Campbell's going to be penciled in as the 4 seed, Kahuku as the 1 seed. So basically, as long as Kapolei beats Leilehua tomorrow, the top 4 seeds will be locked in the playoffs. Farrington will be POW, Leilehua will be POW, as Farrington runs here for an 8-yard gain. So that means that the scheduled game for next Saturday, which was supposed to be the resumption of the postponed game between this Campbell team and Kahuku, that was stopped because of a transformer power outage, I would venture to say that Coach Johnson and company might just go ahead and forfeit that game because the teams are in the same playoff spots regardless. And Campbell's already dealing with a bunch of injuries. You don't want to get any more guys hurt. And that would set up the first round of the OIA playoffs. And then, before I let you get in here, I would take it a step further. Why not then, well, let me take that back. You can't forfeit the first round of the playoffs because he'd be out of the playoffs. But basically, why not forfeit next week if you're Campbell going into the playoffs in your 4 seed?
It's something that I'm sure Coach Johnson and the staff will consider, especially like seeing how they come out of this game. And that's not to be like, oh, the Sabres are scared of Kahuku or anything like that. But you want to give yourself the best opportunity to win the games that matter most. A regular season finale that doesn't really impact your seeding one way or another. There's no reason to put guys in the line of potentially getting hurt before you have a chance to even win an OIA title or punch your ticket into the state playoffs. So I would imagine it's going to be a conversation, but also at the end of the day, when you are a competitor, part of you wants that extra opportunity out there, I have to imagine. So they'll probably let the kids talk about it a little bit, but at the end of the day, you have to focus on what's best for the program as you enter the postseason, and that's part of the conversation.
So after another short run by Farrington, 4th and 12 coming up here, the Govs will call timeout, and we'll take a quick break as well. We'll be right back. This is OIA football. Campbell big, 37-0 over Farrington, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Since 1976, locals have loved this place. And now the newly renovated Pearl at Kalawao is ready for your next round. Play their championship 18-hole course or sharpen your short game on the brand new Namomi Ekolu 3-hole pitch and putt. Open daily for residents, visitors, juniors, and groups. No membership required. With Kama'aina rates, rental clubs, and a full driving range, Pearl at Kalawao is golf reimagined. Pearl at Kalawao, where Hawaii comes to play.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Farrington High School. The Governors essentially waving the white flag on 4th and 12 in Campbell territory. They're going to punt it away. So it's been that kind of night, Paul. 9:38 left to go in the ball game, and Farrington will give it back to Campbell. Just seems like no answers for this tough Sabre squad. Farrington does indeed punt it. A nice kick again by Samuelu. And this one bounces into the end zone. So after all that, you basically have a net punt of only 17 yards.
It's not Samuelo's fault either. That was a phenomenal kick. I mean, basically touched the sky, scraped the clouds up there. You know, though, I don't know, I can't really see many clouds up there, but nonetheless, a great kick. The airtime there, plenty of time for the coverage unit to get down there and potentially down it inside the 5-yard line. And the effort just wasn't really there. The Govs kind of waving the white flag, it seems like. Not everyone, but some players, it seems, just ready for the season to be POW.
And right now, 8:40 away from Farrington's season being POW. Campbell with the 37-0 lead. Mercy rule timing in effect. And this fourth quarter brought to you by Scoring Live. You can visit scoringlive.com for live scores, stats, photos, league schedules, and much more. And before the snap, another encroachment penalty on Farrington, as Medeiros doing a good job of using the hard count. As actually that's going to be backup quarterback Evan Mendoza in there, now running the offense for Campbell. Nice job by Darren Johnson, the coach for Campbell, realizing that Coach Mike Lafaele is basically saying, hey, we're just trying to keep everybody healthy. I'm sure you're doing the same. So both coaches playing that sportsmanship game. As Campbell with it, 1st and 5. A run up the middle. Relatively easy pickings for the Campbell offense. A gain of 4. 2nd and 1 coming up.
And you mentioned this, the hard count tonight for Campbell, whether it's been Medeiros or Mendoza now, just continues to get Farrington off balance. We've seen the Govs jump multiple times and realistically probably could have been called for 3, 4, 5 more encroachment penalties tonight than they have been.
So the backups are in for both sides. 7:40 to go in the ballgame. Campbell trying to get some positive momentum going as they head into a big matchup scheduled next week against Kahuku. But again, if they can hang on and win this one, they are going to be in, or at least very close to being officially into the OIA playoffs. And if the season were to end, I guess after this game, it would be Kahuku versus Campbell, not only next week, but in the potential first round of the OIA playoffs. So, Paul, if you are Campbell in that situation, knowing that you're either going to have to win that game, or if you lose that game, you got to win the third place game to get into states. What is your approach knowing what you've seen tonight against Farrington?
Well, one, we've talked about it already, where I really do think you need to consider forfeiting next weekend for a couple of reasons. The competitive advantage, I understand that Kahuku has already seen you this season. You don't want to give them an opportunity to see you again. And you also don't want to do that right before the postseason begins. You have a better chance. Hey, any given week you can upset a team, and we've seen Kahuku is vulnerable at times. So there's no reason to think that they couldn't beat them in just one random weekend. Beating them 2 weekends in a row, I don't necessarily know as easy a task.
Okay, so let me go back to my previous thought a few minutes ago. Let's say Campbell forfeits next week against Kahuku. They go into the playoffs. Now that I've thought about it again, because you get a second bite at the apple in the third place game, if you're Campbell, do you now forfeit twice, knowing that you're going to play the loser of Mililani Kapolei, and then if Campbell can win that one, you're into the state tournament?
I don't think you forfeit, but you definitely take into consideration just how much you want as the ball gets loose and Farrington forces a fumble and a turnover here. It does give you a chance to look at it and say, if the game does get out of hand in the first half against Kahuku, do you kind of see what you've seen from Farrington here and take the foot off the gas and understand that you can play for another day? So I wouldn't say outright forfeit per se, but also you play it by ear. If it ends up being not as useful trying to play a second half where you're already down 4 or 5 scores, then you do understand it. But this is a Campbell unit, and you started to ask me this before, what needs to happen? I mean, this is a Campbell unit that has enough talent to probably put a scare into just about anyone. You see all these shifty little slot backs or wide receivers, and there's talent on the offense. We've seen Bryson Sansano compete at the state level before, and if Medeiros can be that guy for a 2, 3, 4 game stretch, maybe it's a magical run for the Sabres.
And Farrington, after that fumble, they're going to toss it deep, but the freshman quarterback is intercepted. So again, the seesaw turnover battle continues. Farrington gives it right back to Campbell, and we're at the 5-minute mark before this one is pow. We'll be back with the conclusion of this one. Campbell up 37-0 over Farrington. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
We roll on late in the fourth quarter. Campbell with a commanding 37-0 lead over Farrington. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Campbell trying to run up the clock in mercy rule timing, so the clock continues to run as long as there are no timeouts, injuries, penalties, or scores. And, of course, as I say that, the clock will stop because one of the Campbell players' helmets flew off, so he's going to be replaced for one play. But smartly, the referee winds the clock. So we're going to keep it rolling. 3:10 and counting, Paula. Emphatic win tonight by Campbell. They're up 37-0. And again, this sets the stage. Kahuku dominating Mililani right now. And this really paints the playoff picture. As long as Kapolei can take care of business against Leilehua tomorrow, we'll have our final four as far as the Open Division goes. It'll be Kahuku, Mililani, Kapolei, and now Campbell.
Yeah, barring anything too crazy, making sure everything remains as chalk, it is what's going to happen.
And a big tackle by Farrington. Looks like a junior Isaiah Bertola, the O-lineman, getting some D-line action here.
The former Campbell player himself getting some...
no wonder he's a little excited there about that tackle down by 37.
Some time against his old buddies from last year.
And the big news for Campbell there is they got the first down. So basically, they just got to run 4 more plays, and they will have this victory wrapped up. So again, Paul, going back to our conversation, we have our final 4 set. After seeing Kahuku continue to thrive and improve, seeing Campbell again taking care of business against Farrington, knowing that Mililani is very talented, Kapolei is super talented, they beat up on Campbell. How do you see this Open Division playing out as we get close to the playoffs?
I mean, you have to think that it's Kahuku's division to lose right now, and that's just because they've been the cream of the crop. They continue to be so. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the day. It seems that they've found their quarterback, and that's just so big in football. When you have a quarterback who can lead you to wins, you already have an elite defense. Feels like the Red Raiders are in a great spot. That being said, I won't give Kapolei no chance at this because, man, oh man, are they a fun team.
Speaking of fun, Campbell going deep here. The backups are having a ball as one of the backup receivers gets a gain of at least 50. That's going to be Caleb Watanabe hauling it in, and as Campbell gets set, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. You're listening to OIA Football presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Your home for USC Trojans football. KGU AM K236CR Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. Michael Lascaro as well. Ku'ule Agbayani back in the studio. It's been a total team effort from us and a complete team effort from Campbell. They've dominated from the get-go, and just a few seconds away. They have to run one more play before they can put the icing on this cake, and it's going to be a jump pass. The backups trying to get one more. I don't know if Campbell's going to take their foot off the gas. That was Evan Mendoza, who, I think he was past the line of scrimmage, a little too excited there on the jump pass.
And I think that stops the clock, does it not, on a penalty?
It does, at least momentarily. And yeah, this is just a rough season for Farrington. Here they're down 37-0. They've basically waved the white flag, the white towel, and Campbell's trying to run it up with the backups. And honestly, as a guy who played, college baseball, and I was not only third string, I was like third and a half string. When you get your reps, you got to play as hard as you can. But there also comes a point where you need to start kind of respecting the game a bit.
Yeah, I've been in a couple of situations like that before where you're up and you probably should stop shooting the three-pointer. You probably should stop taking the deep shots down the field. Here, with less than 40 seconds left to play and with 20 seconds left in regulation, if I'm Campbell, I'm probably just taking a kneel down right here.
So we'll see what Campbell does here. All they need to do, actually, they don't even have to run a play, and they're not going to. This is going to be the end of this one. Campbell puts the finishing touches on this 37-0 triumph over Farrington. And a great win for Campbell as they stay in the playoff picture. That'll bring an end to the Governors season at 0-5 in the Open Division. We'll be back with our post-game show and award our Fun Factory VIP of the game when we come back. But as it stands now, Campbell 37, Farrington 0. This one is POW. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Fun Factory can't make taking tests fun, and they can't make homework fun, but they can make good grades fun. Upload your report card and turn in your A's, B's, M's, and MP's into game tokens. Visit funfactorygames.com/honor-roll.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Experience one of Central Oahu's biggest community events, Pearl at Kalawau's monthly night market. With over 80 vendors, you'll find delicious food, retail treasures, desserts, and specialty drinks, all in one place. Bring the whole family for a night of culture, live entertainment, and community. Each month features a new theme and opportunities to support local businesses and nonprofits. Golf, dining, and community all come together at Pearl at Kalawau.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
Fun Factory can't make paying bills fun, and they can't make feeling sick fun. But they can make your next party fun with 4 locations in Oahu. There's a Fun Factory near you. Visit funfactorygames.com to book today. Fun Factory, where the fun is made for you.
Back to more of the OIA featured game of the week on HSRN 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by DSE Hawaii.
A quick and tidy 37-0 victory for Campbell, just what they needed as they stay alive in the OIA playoff picture. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with our post-game show. And Paul, we talked about it in the pregame. Campbell was favored, but they needed to do everything according to plan to get it done. They did tonight in all facets of the game and ended Farrington's season with a 37-0 shutout.
Yeah, came on the road and took care of business, did exactly what they needed to do, and that's just a sign of a team who's getting ready for the postseason. Obviously, tonight doesn't officially clinch it for them, but puts them in a really, really good spot. And on the other side for Farrington, it ends a season that has just been frustrating from the very beginning. Obviously, 1 win across 9 games. They play in a really, really tough league and play against some of the best that Hawaii has to offer. Unfortunately for them, unable to come up with a victory against it, but nonetheless, a lot of fight, a lot of talent on this team. And for some of these guys, this won't be their final football game. This is their final football game at the high school level, but a lot of them getting ready to play at the next level.
And as we put the bow on this one, our last order of business is to award our Fun Factory VIP of the game, the player of the game, brought to you by Fun Factory. And before Paul reveals that Fun Factory VIP of the game winner, we want to remind you that you too can become a Fun Factory VIP when you accumulate $100 or more spent at your favorite Fun Factory location. You'll receive VIP bragging rights, plus discount pricing on games and much more. Visit funfactorygames.com for more info. Paul, who is our Fun Factory VIP of the game?
Well, obviously coming from the Campbell Sabers tonight as they come from the west side down to Kalihi and put a smackdown on the Govs. And it was led by their senior QB, Braden Medeiros, your Fun Factory VIP of the game. A dominant first half as the Sabres jumped out right away to a 14-0 lead. A pair of touchdown passes in that first quarter as he found one of his favorite targets throughout the night in Zane Paishon, and then finishes out the first half with another touchdown pass, the 10th of the year, to Shaisen Kupuka'a, who continues to rise up the recruitment boards. But overall, it's the senior QB who just looks primed and ready to go, wants to give one last shot to the Sabres through the OIA and state playoffs, put his team in a great position tonight, 3 touchdowns, and he ends up taking home your VIP of the game honors from Fun Factory.
Great job by him. Great job by Campbell overall. Again, a 37-0 triumph. Farrington ends its season 1-8 overall, 0-5 in Open Division play within the OIA. Campbell, meanwhile, improves to 6-2 overall and jumps to the all-important 2-2 in league play. And again, if Kapolei can take care of business against Leilehua tomorrow night, all 4 Open Division playoff teams in the OIA will be set. Right now we're looking at Kahuku as the 1 seed, Mililani and or Kapolei as the 2-3 seeds, and as it stands now, Campbell penciled in as the 4 seed. So Farrington ending its season, they're actually huddled right in midfield, arms around each other on the big Farrington Governor G. And there's a lot of emotion there as Coach Mike Lafayette with a difficult season. Again, we mentioned they should most likely be in the D1 right now, but because of the way the OIA is structured, they are in the Open. So a tough season by Farrington. They end at 1-8 overall. That'll do it from us here at Farrington. But before we go, we have to send our much-deserved mahalos out to the Farrington Athletic Department, always taking care of us. Harold Tanaka and his staff do a great job. Ku'ule Agbayani back in the studio. She's our marathon woman. She sat through the 5-hour playoff game as the Mariners with a big 3-2 win over Detroit to move on to face Toronto in the ALCS. Great job, Ku'ule, as usual. Michael Lascaro running around up and down the bleachers, taking photos, handing out our VIP of the game. He's done an awesome job all season. And, of course, Paul Brecht, great job by you. I'll give you the last word.
I loved calling football with you throughout this regular season. Continues on as we get ready for the postseason as well. An awesome team we've got here getting ready for what should be an awesome conclusion to the high school football season. I say that as if we're only a week away from the end of it. We still got a lot more to figure out, and I hope all the beautiful people join us along as we go through.
So that'll do it from Kalihi. Again, Campbell, 37-0 over Farrington. The Sabres in the playoff picture as we head toward Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, for our entire HSRN team. Take care. Have a great weekend. Go UH tomorrow. And aloha.
You've been listening to a special presentation of OIA Athletics on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, brought to you by Hawai'i Pacific Health, Dial Electric Supply, Fun Factory, and DSE Hawaii. Visit hawaiisportsradio.com for our upcoming play-by-play schedules. We now return you to regularly scheduled programming on HSRN 95.1 FM and AM 760.